A 2018 JAMA Network open study of 122,000 adults found that low cardiorespiratory fitness carried a higher mortality risk than smoking, diabetes, or heart disease. VO2 max, the single best predictor of all-cause mortality, is built most efficiently not through intense intervals, but through long, steady, conversational pace Zone 2 cardio. Peter Attia calls it the most important longevity habit available. The science from San-Millán, Brooks, and Seiler agrees. Zone 2 cardio is boring, easy, and the single most underrated habit in longevity medicine. It builds mitochondria, raises VO2 max, and lowers all-cause mortality more than nearly any other intervention available. You should be able to hold a conversation the entire session. If you can't, you're training too hard. Today's evidence comes from Inigo San-Millán and George Brooks' research on lactate clearance and metabolic flexibility, Peter Attia's applied longevity medicine framework on Zone 2 training, Stephen Seiler's landmark International Journal of Sports Physiology paper on 80-20 endurance training distribution, and Kyle Mansage's 122,000 patient JAMA Network open study linking cardiorespiratory fitness to all-cause mortality. Inigo San-Millán's research with George Brooks at UC Berkeley showed that training at the top of Zone 2, the highest intensity at which lactate production still equals lactate clearance, produces the largest mitochondrial adaptations per hour of training. Their lactate clearance protocols, used with elite Tour de France riders, revealed that this specific metabolic zone drives mitochondrial biogenesis, fat oxidation capacity, and metabolic flexibility more efficiently than any other intensity. It is also protective against type 2 diabetes, fatty liver, and cardiovascular disease. 4 physiological benefits accumulate with consistent Zone 2 training. Mitochondrial biogenesis, the growth of new mitochondria inside muscle cells, raises your cellular energy ceiling. Fat oxidation capacity improves, meaning you burn fat more efficiently at rest and during exercise. VO2 max rises steadily, and VO2 max is the single strongest predictor of all-cause mortality. And metabolic flexibility returns, restoring your body's ability to switch smoothly between fuel sources, the hallmark of metabolic health. Stephen Seiler's research studying world-class endurance athletes across decades revealed a striking pattern. Roughly 80% of their training time is spent at Zone 2 or lower, and only 20% is spent at high intensity. This 80-20 polarized distribution produced better results than any moderate intensity only program. The vast majority of aerobic adaptation comes from the easy work. High-intensity intervals add the final layer. Reversing the ratio, which most recreational exercises do by accident, leaves most of the benefit on the table. For measurable outcomes, separate people who train Zone 2 consistently from people who don't. Mitochondrial density in muscle biopsies is substantially higher. VO2 max improves markedly over a 6-month training block. Resting heart rate and blood pressure drop. And the most important longevity marker of all-cause mortality risk, drops dramatically, with studies showing top-quartile fitness carries roughly 1/5 the mortality risk of the bottom quartile. The most widespread cardio myth is that harder is always better, and that if you are not gasping, you are not training. The evidence is the opposite. Seiler's research shows the athletes with the best endurance results spend 80% of training at an easy conversational pace. Going too hard too often blunts mitochondrial adaptation, raises injury risk, and forces shorter sessions, which costs you the total volume that drives lasting improvement. 3 steps to install the Zone 2 habit this month. First, learn your Zone 2 zone using the talk test. You should be able to speak a full sentence but not sing. Heart rate roughly equals 180 minus your age, plus or minus 5. Second, accumulate 3 to 4 hours per week of Zone 2 time across any modality: walking uphill, stationary bike, slow jog. Third, add 1 high-intensity session per week for VO2 max on top of the Zone 2 base. 5 practical moves to build the Zone 2 habit this week. Pick one modality you'll actually do: incline treadmill, bike, or a 30-minute walk. Block 4 weekly sessions on the calendar like appointments. Wear a heart rate monitor or use the talk test each session. Track total Zone 2 minutes per week, not miles or calories. And stack it with something you already do: a podcast, an audiobook, a call with a friend. 3 if-then plans that lock Zone 2 into daily life. After your morning coffee on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, put on training clothes and start your Zone 2 session before opening any apps. If your heart rate drifts above Zone 2, slow down. This is the habit, not a race. And if you only have 20 minutes, still go. Short Zone 2 beats 0, and the habit matters more than any single session. Zone 2 cardio is the most underrated longevity habit available. It builds mitochondria, raises VO2 max, restores metabolic flexibility, and lowers all-cause mortality more than almost any other single intervention. 80% of training time should be easy conversational pace. Accumulate 3 to 4 hours per week across 4 sessions, layer one high-intensity session on top, and measure weekly Zone 2 minutes, not miles. Boring, easy, and life-extending. Subscribe to Habits, backed by science for weekly peer-reviewed research applied to the habits that directly improve how you think, feel, and perform. Before you close this video, open your calendar and block 4 Zone 2 sessions on the next 7 days. 30 to 60 minutes each, conversational pace, any modality you enjoy. That single act of blocking the time is how longevity habits actually get built.